Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Russell Reacts. In today's video, we are going to be reacting to one of, if not the most hyped movie, for me personally, of 2025. And that is the brand new James Gunn Superman movie that's going to be released at least very soon. I'm looking at the date right now. It's about a few days away from the actual release. And I've not seen any footage of it. So I'm very, very excited to see what's gonna happen, and I kind of just want to jump straight into it. I know for this one I'm gonna have to do a lot of talking over because back when I did the Christopher Reeve documentary react that I did I think at this point now a couple weeks ago, that one got copyright claimed because during the audio that was playing during the trailer. So I'm gonna have to do a lot. I'm gonna have to attempt to do a lot of talking over at least during the main trailer. And then obviously I'm gonna mute it and we're gonna analyze it. But either that or I'm gonna have to lower the volume down a lot. But I still want to be able to hear it. But I mean, yeah. I want to jump into it because I'm very excited to see this. So this is the official trailer, not the teaser.
Are you being serious right now?
Yeah,
You'd let me interview you as Superman.
sure.
Okay. So
Ready?
Let's do it, Cronkite.
Superman.
Miss Lane.
okay, so
Recently,
we're
you've
starting
come under
this
a lot
off
of
when
fire for what
with him
sounds
already
like-
known as
It's a lot.
Superman.
Today, the Secretary of Defense said he was going to look into your actions. That's funny?
My actions? I stopped a war.
Maybe.
Not maybe. I did.
In effect, you illegally entered a country.
This is how you're gonna be?
I'm not the one being interviewed, Superman. Did you consult with the president?
Oh shit. Okay, so
No.
we're tackling like the political side of it.
And doing good.
I would question myself in the
Okay.
same situation.
This
and
is
consider
interesting.
The consequences.
People were going to die.
Like we're getting like we're actually getting like
Eyes up here.
yeah, okay, that's the one thing I've seen. Oh, that's cool. You have Kratos here.
Your choices. Your actions.
Oh my god.
That's what makes you who you are.
Like a callback to the original credits. Oh my god. Like this is I don't even know. Like what the hell?
Somehow become the focal
This-
point of the entire world's conversation.
Fuck.
I will not accept that.
What the hell?
I cleaned your boots. I'll go get them for you.
I love the fact that using a version of the John Williams theme for this. That's fucking amazing. Yo, my god.
You have a dog?
Okay, I love the. You have a dog? Holy shit. Wow, that was fucking incredible. Wow. That's insane. Okay, I gotta go through this trailer again. Like, I gotta analyze shit. Because it was hard to kind of try and talk over it, but not just be at all. Or just in awe of, like, everything. So, okay. This is an interesting take on it where we don't, as far as I can tell, we don't get an origin story for Superman, which, to be completely honest, I was a little shocked by, but I'm actually kind of interested now, because now that takes off, like, you gotta take, hold up, actually, real quick, might as well grab these while I'm talking about this. If you take, let's say, Superman the movie, this has a 2 hours, 7-minute runtime. The first 40 minutes of this movie are focused on the origin story, and the other hour and like 20 are, you know, him fighting as Superman. So I don't know what the runtime is gonna be for this new Superman movie. I would assume around 2 hours, but considering the fact that, you know, this moved at a very quick pace, and like I said, the first 40 minutes were focused on the origin story, and the next hour and a half are, you know, him as Superman. If we're gonna get the same time, or at least around the same time for this Superman movie, that definitely leaves a lot open. And I'm very curious to see how, you know, they're gonna play it. So, right off the bat, we already have a major, like, development, as in, you know, Superman is already a thing in this universe, and he's getting public scrutiny for it because everyone sees him as, well, you have people that say he's a hero, and then other people say that he's, you know, like here, like people like say he's an outsider. And this was one thing I always, you know, I always kind of wanted to see. In a way, they just never executed well on screen. Like, the biggest offender to that was Man of Steel. Like, I remember I talked about this a little bit in my react to this Chris Reeve documentary, and I've talked about it with friends. I just never really talked about it in depth on camera. I think they really fumbled the ball with Man of Steel, because they have the idea of what if Superman was put into a world where, you know, misogyny is a thing, racism is especially a thing nowadays. Like, not saying it never was. Like, it was definitely a thing back in, you know, the 70s, back when, you know, the Christopher Reeve movies were coming out. But, like, it's definitely, like, the modern world is definitely way more, I guess you could say, apprehensive to a lot of things, a lot of new things. So the concept of having Superman come into the modern world and be scrutinized because he really is an alien, and most people nowadays, they get freaked out over Area 51 aliens, and even then people are debating on whether those are real. But the people who do think they're real are like, holy shit, you know, there's Kaji aliens on Earth. Do I personally believe that? I'm not going to go into that. Well, I'll just say this. I personally don't believe it. And I know that's probably going to get me shit online for it. I don't really care. I'm just, you know, putting out my opinion on that. But, you know, you have people, you know, thinking, oh, like, what the fuck are these aliens going to do in Area 51? Like, nowadays? How would you think they would react when Superman came along? Yes, he is, for all intents and purposes, he is an alien, but he's also a human. So, how would you go about a world where Superman would be treated in a modern society? And I think that has the potential of being a great story. They had the chance of doing it in Man of Steel, but so many problems with that movie fumbled that interpretation of it, in my personal opinion. I think the one thing that I always double back to is about the argument about Man of Steel not being a really good Superman movie. I think it's a fine superhero movie, but as a Superman movie, it's not good. And I think one of the big things about it is that I think the people of Earth are kind of right of not trusting him, because, you know, you have him saying that, you know, the typical, I want to fight for truth, justice, and the American way. Yet, the whole last fight of the movie is him fucking up Metropolis. And, like, that just makes the people's untrustworthiness of him valid, because he just fucked up half of the city. Like, well, no, pretty much the entire city at the end before, like, I guess the final scene of Clark in the Daily Planet, that city looks pretty much deserted. Like, literally looks post-apocalyptic. So that just makes, in my opinion, the people of Earth's opinion on Superman valid, because though I think the whole point is, the whole mentality behind Superman in a modern world is that, yes, he will be, you know, I think having the arc of people not trusting him throughout a good chunk of the movie, and then by the end, Superman redeeming the hearts of everybody, I think that's how you should do it. And yes, Man of Steel does do that, but only after Superman fucked up all of Metropolis, which they did play upon in Batman v Superman. I really don't want to go into that one, but they did follow that up, which I'm like, okay, that's commendable. That film has its own problems and fucks up with that whole thing on its own. But my point is that, you know, I think for this sort of story to work, you need there to be a actual reason for the people to be like, by the end, be like, oh, you know, we can actually trust Superman that he can save us. And Man of Steel tried to do that, and they fucked it up. So, having this dynamic for this interpretation of Superman, I'm hoping they can actually build upon that and, you know, make it work. Also, I just wanted to point this out. I think I do recognize this actor. I don't know his name. I think he was in some of the Purge movies, I think, and a couple other movies. I forgot the name. I think one where, like, he's like in like a Groundhog's Day type of deal, but like it's like an action movie as well. Like, so like every time he dies, he like restarts the day or something. I think he's a fine actor, if that is who this guy is. But okay, this whole war aspect is interesting, because he is kind of like what's his face? He like, and this is what I'm saying, like the whole. Okay, hold on. There's a lot of things going on. I gotta focus on one thing at a time. The whole. Well, let me see. Oh yeah, okay. Here, like him getting, like, we've seen this whole Superman getting arrested thing back in Man of Steel. I just think that, you know, here I hope it works better. I think another problem with Man of Steel is that it tried to build the origin story on top of trying to do the whole can society trust Superman thing. So you have to balance both of those ideals. Whereas this one, you don't need to worry about that. The whole origin story pretty much is not in this movie. What you get is mostly, can society trust Superman? And I think that's definitely going to help this movie in its favor, because then you have more time to develop that. Also, Lex Luthor as president. Finally, we get a live-action version of President Luthor. I'm excited for that, because we've only really seen that in the animated Superman stuff, like Justice League and DCAU. You know, so to finally get a live-action portrayal of Lex Luthor, who is also president, I'm all down for that. Like, that's cool. Like, finally, we get this. Also, the whole, what's his face? The war aspect. I want to see if I can go back to it. I don't know what this sequence is going to entail, in terms of the plot and the structure of the movie. But I'm very curious to see how this plays out, because it almost looks like the army is trying to, like, stop Superman, and, like, the people who trust Superman on the right side are like, you know, fuck the army, bro. You know, let's go against them, and, you know, it's gonna be like a whole war. That's an interesting angle on it. Oh, okay, and I should say this. I'm not saying that, you know, like, that Metropolis shouldn't get partially destroyed. I'm not saying that, because we've seen that in, like, the early animated Christopher Reeve films. We've seen that in, you know, like, the animated stuff. But the thing is, by that point, we've already established the character of Superman. And I'm assuming that's what this one's going for. My main problem with Man of Steel was that they were trying to make it to where obviously you make it an origin story about him getting his powers, getting sent to Earth, him integrating with society, and then him finally coming out as Superman. And then on top of that, having people go, can we trust him? It's like, okay, that could have worked, but then you fumbled it by having him just, like, level almost the entire city. Here, it's like, okay, he's already an established figure already in the world, especially in Metropolis. So, having the buildings get, like, mostly, or at least a good chunk of the buildings destroyed, while he's trying to save everyone and stop whichever villain is in the way, having people go, okay, can we really trust him? That makes sense because he's already been around for a while, so having that sort of questioning of Superman's, thoughts and or his thought pattern and how he does things makes sense in this story. So that's my main complaint with Man of Steel, is that they pushed it already way too much. But then obviously, in this story, you still have people that are like, still wanting to help him. Which I like, that's cool. Like, I think definitely having, like, both sides of it, where it's like, you have people that are fully like, Superman's here to save us, he saved us multiple times. I don't care if buildings get destroyed, or, partially leveled, because he's here saving us. Like, what if he wasn't? Then, we would just be fucked. But then you have the other side of the coin, where you have people that are like, oh, it's because Superman is here that all these villains keep on coming up and our city keeps on getting leveled. We don't really trust him. That's the dynamic that I wanted, Man of Steel to play out, but they fucked it up in that. Also this, I love the callback to the original Christopher Reeve title sequence. With the transition of the letters and stuff. Like, that's exactly how the Christopher Reeve sequences were, like, the opening. Especially the first one. I love that aspect. Also, Fortress of Solitude, yes. Like, that's sick. Crypto, yes. Like, we finally get a live-action version of Crypto. Like, let's go. Like, that's cool. This was not this shot in particular, but this kind of sequence we've seen in the promo stills for the film. I'm very curious to figure out what this fucking thing is, because that looks both beautiful but terrifying at the same time. Because you got to think that's gonna be huge above Metropolis, so it may look pretty, but like that's probably shooting out gas or something that's gonna affect everyone in the world. Also love this little bit of, Jonathan Kent. That's, a nice, little thing. More scenes of Lex in, what's his face, of Lex in the Fortress of Solitude. That's cool. It does look like there's going to be a little bit of a, kind of a, not really a callback, but something similar that they did in, like, Superman 2 and 4, where Superman's kind of out of the picture for a little bit because of, like, something either he did or a villain did to him, and that's causing him to get knocked out. Very much like the bar guy in Superman 2 and Nuclear Man in Superman 4. They both took him out for a little bit of the film. So this is kind of playing into that, which I kind of like. Also, I don't know if anyone else is talking about this in terms of the trailer, but the confirmation that there are other aliens on Earth that are just being held up like this, that's kind of cool. That's definitely leading to a potential for other, films. This shot, that I've seen that plenty of times. I've seen little clips of this fight in, like, the football stadium. That Lexus is tweaking the fuck out. I still am trying to figure out what the purpose of this monster is. That seems kind of interesting. A Green Lantern as well. Like, what? Because that's why I heard a lot of people. Yeah, I mean, that is a Green Lantern. You can see the shield and everything. Played by the same guy who is a prominent figure in the Rookie show, which I really want to check out. And has also played Green Lantern in several other DC animated stuff. But no, this gets me hyped for this. Oh, I love this shot where he goes up and then just fucking falls back down. Like, you can tell he just got a beating up there that we didn't see. And they shot. Yeah, I love that. Where Superman just lying on his bed with Krypton on top of him with the sun shining through. That's cool. Man. So yeah, this trailer is, it definitely gets me hyped for the other film, or for the film to come out, and this is one I really want to try and see in theaters. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for my reaction of the 2025 Superman movie trailer. If you guys want to see more of this sort of content, make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon to get notified when future videos are coming out. And see you guys in the next reaction, or just in the next video in general. Live long and prosper. Out.